I think with cravings, at least from my experience personally and like working with clients, is like the craving side of things. When I think of the word craving, I think of more psychological and more like, okay, what's going on right now? Like, what stressor just happened that you now are having this craving for something else? Or yes, maybe you're deficient in a certain nutrient and maybe that's triggering you to want more salty foods or sweet foods or something like that, right? Maybe that relates more to like the microbiome type thing. But I mean, I agree with what you said. Like, I think that it doesn't, I think that's the wrong place to be focusing on. It's more so focusing on like, all right, if I want to transition to new intuitive eating, like, how do I go about doing that in the most productive way? Just overall, like, focusing on the big things, like the big things that actually make the most difference, which we don't think because they're not like the cool things or the sexy things, like the probiotics and the digestive enzymes. Those absolutely can have their place. But like you said, the stress or just like, okay, I'm continuously bloated after my meals. Like, what am I doing? Like, think back, what am I doing when I'm eating that meal? What am I doing before that meal? Versus really like versus just focusing on the food, because I think that's something people get wrong too. Not wrong, but they get so caught up on the actually like the type of food, or like the like dairy's messing me up, but like, oh, I'm eating this tub of Greek yogurt while I'm on the phone scrolling through social media, standing up, like walking to something. My kids are yelling at me, scarfing it down, not even like chewing it or whatever. But I think those are a lot of the big rocks that people tend to like miss, because it's like it's common sense, but like people don't necessarily pay attention to it. I'm super guilty of this as well. So I think those are things that, you know, tend to be the big things that people miss out on, right? And it's like the simplest things. I do want to hit on just some tips. I've been tracking for a while and I'm looking to transition into intuitive eating. How do I do that? Like, what are some tips for that? And I know we talked about this before, and I can give like just a few tips, because I think that's one of the, like, the transition part is the scariest part for a lot of people. And I think, at least when I'm working with clients, the biggest thing that I recommend is taking it in, like, not taking that all or nothing approach, right? It's like, okay, I've been tracking 7 days a week, you know, for a year, and I want to now, like, I was in a fat loss phase and I've now hit maintenance, and I've been at maintenance for a while, and I've kind of, you know, re-solidified maybe my new maintenance or whatever it is, and now I want to start intuitively eating. I think that at least my approach is to take it in chunks. So like, start off by, okay, taking, you know, one meal out of tracking and just eat what you usually eat, don't track it, or just eat how you would eat if you were tracking for a day, and do that and see how it is, and maybe track afterwards just to kind of see if you're on point there. You know, taking, like I did, you know, being aware of, you know, if you're going away and you want to enjoy that vacation, like just being super mindful of your choices, versus getting very diligent on, or very, very specific on getting caught up in the numbers and things like that. I recorded a podcast on like the different tiers of tracking, and so I like to reverse back through those. So like, if you've been tracking all of the macros and calories for a while, okay, why don't we just track protein and overall calories and see where we're at there, because we know protein is very, very important. And then, okay, let's maybe we do that 5 days a week, and other 2 days of the week we're just intuitive, right? So it's kind of just like working your way back, and then eventually you can get to a point where it's like, all right, I'm just eating, you know, normally how I did for the last year. I might just not be tracking it, right?